Hi, and welcome to episode 26 of Soft Signal. We have finally moved on from Test cricket after what feels like an eternity. Should have been a bit longer, but didn't last for reasons you can check out in our previous episode. But today we're going to look forward to now what is going to be a couple of months of T20 cricket. So we have the IPL, which is starting next week. The resume is going to resume from where it left off in May. And then, of course, we have the T20 World Cup, which was supposed to happen last year, and now it's happening this year. It was supposed to happen in Australia last year. Now it then moved to India. Now it's in UAE and Oman as well. So, welcome to hey Aditya. Welcome to the podcast. Today's episode. Just wanted to get your initial views on the World Cup in general. Like it's been 5 years. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. I think the World Cup is still the biggest, entertainer that there is in cricket.
Yeah.
So and the T20 World Cup as well. So it's going to be interesting. 2016 was the last time we had the T20 World Cup. So it's been a long wait. So should be interesting to see how the sides line up and who comes up trumps. You correctly pointed out, it's actually um, none of the teams can actually call this a home surface
Yeah.
because there is no UAE in this tournament, and let's face it, even if they were, what difference would it have made? So, um, um, I think, and although the pitches there are kind of similar to what the pitches are in the subcontinent, they're still they're still not home surfaces. It's not home turf, so that makes it all the more interesting. So, looking forward to this World Cup in October. Really should be good fun. And T20 is of course entertaining, so should be good fun to watch.
Yeah, T20 World Cups are always great to watch. Short games, of course, and they used to happen very regularly, every 2 years, and now 5 years. It's I think the longest wait between tournaments. So really looking forward to it. So a bunch of teams have announced their squads, including India, which we're going to focus on in this episode. So we'll just bring up the squad. So we have a few usual suspects, like we have all the like Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, KL Rahul. I'm just going to read it out actually. So it's Kohli, Sharma, KL Rahul, Surya Kumar Yadav, Rishabh Pant, Ishan Kishan, Hardik Pandya, Ravindra Jadeja, Bumrah, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, and Shami. So I've read out those names first because those are the ones we expected. We also have Rahul Chahar, Akshar Patel, Varun Chakravarti, and Ravi Chandran Ashwin, who's like I think the biggest news, making a comeback after 4 years. So initial thoughts on the squad. Of course, a few we expected, but any surprises that stand out to you?
So I think, firstly, of course, I think the squad is pretty well rounded. I'm not going to go into the individuals as yet, but I think overall the squad is pretty well rounded and pretty well balanced. You've got batsmen in there, you've got all rounders in there, you've got quite a lot of spinners in there, and then you've got some fast bowlers. Now I can understand why they've gone in with how many? It's one, two, three, four, five spinners.
Five spinners,
We've
yeah.
gone in with five spinners because the tracks in the UAE and Oman will assist spin. Also, this is after the end of the IPL, so the tracks would also be a little tired. So I think there will be spin on offer and also the tracks could be a little slower. So it makes sense to go with five spin bowlers. Of course, they're not going to play all five.
Yeah.
I think um, a couple of players would count themselves unfortunate to not be in the main team, namely Deepak Chahar and Shreyas Iyer. Now they are there as reserves, but they are not there in the main team. And I think even Yuzvendra Chahal, who didn't
Yeah.
even get a look into the reserves. So I think three of them can count themselves unlucky, because they've been good T20 players over the years. So they've even performed well in the IPL over the years. So A bit unlucky for them. R Ashwin, and you said it in the brief. The biggest news out of all this, right, is the inclusion of R Ashwin. Now, whether that is because Washington Sundar is simply not available, or whether it's because R Ashwin's performances in the IPL have been really good over the last few seasons, um, I think it's the former. Right. I think Washington Sundar in the shorter formats is the more valuable off spinner because he bowls in the power plays. He's a better batsman than R Ashwin as well, and obviously a better fielder as well. So then you look down the pecking order after Washington Sundar. The only other off spinner is R Ashwin. So
Yeah,
maybe that's why they picked him. I don't see Ashwin really getting into the starting 11, to be honest.
what's
But
new?
what's new exactly? That's a trend that's going to carry on from the Test series. Um, but yeah, good to see him back into the fray of limited overs cricket. At least it means that if he's not the first choice spinner, first choice off spinner, he is at least the second choice. So good for Ashwin. Um, and I'm surprised, of course, to see Ishan Kishan in there. I think.
Okay.
I think. I, I mean, there's lot being said, and mainly it's like he's the left hand. He's a left-hander, so it gives that additional choice in the top order for left-handed batsman. I would still prefer Shreyas Iyer over him because, well, some would argue that Ishan Kishan is a backup wicket keeper. But I don't agree with that logic because KL Rahul is there and KL Rahul will play.
Okay.
So I think Ishan Kishan is a bit lucky, and Shreyas Iyer can call himself a bit unlucky. But I think overall a pretty well balanced side. And India, of course, given that they've got such a rich pool of players, are going to be one of the favorites as well.
Yeah, I agree. And just we shouldn't forget that the squad can be amended till October 10th. So
Yeah.
there's still time. I mean, if someone shines in the IPL, maybe they can select, and hopefully there's no injuries. But yeah, there's still time to make replacements. But yeah, this the only thing I have is that I know it's the UAE, it's low and slow tracks and all of that. But five spinners seems a bit excessive to me, especially since like they really could have selected Deepak Chahar. I feel bad for him. He's performed really well. He played well in Sri Lanka as well. And yeah, it's just it's sad. He could have been there at the expense of one of the spinners. I don't know if Akshar Patel. I personally don't remember him setting the IPL alight either. He hasn't played T20 cricket for India. He's played two matches, I think, in the past 3-4 years. So I'm not sure where that selection has come from. Also, it's seems like almost like it was like he's performed well in Test cricket, so they've taken him into this. It's been a bit of a strange selection for me, that one. Uh,
And he's similar to Ravindra Jadeja, so it's like carrying
yeah,
two similar players in the squad. You're right. Akshar Patel is a bit of a surprise.
yeah, and since they've now got three fast bowlers, it's probably going to be Hardik Pandya who's going to also might will be bowling. Um, so that'll be interesting to see after a while. I think he will his role is anyway important to the team, but his role does become even more important now since he's going to be bowling as well.
Yes, I think there have been reports coming through that Hardik Pandya is fit enough to bowl.
Yeah,
And I think that has also driven the decision, or that has influenced the decision for them to choose five spinners. So, of course, Hardik Pandya bowling does add a lot more balance to the side because then you can have him bat at six or seven, and then you can pack your side with two all rounders in Jadeja and Hardik. So, I think it does add to the depth of the squad and also the balance of the squad. Um, I think everybody acknowledges that as of today, Hardik Pandya is the best seam bowling all rounder in India. So it's important to have him bowl because he adds so much with his batting destructiveness. To have him bowl is really a bonus,
yeah,
and it really makes the balance of the side perfect. So good to see Hardik Pandya back bowling after a long time, actually.
yeah. It'll be interesting to see, and he's a valuable cricketer for India. So if he does perform well, maybe there is a Test series coming up to South Africa. I understand Test bowling might be a bridge too far at this point, but Might be good for him to get his confidence back as well if he can get selected in that squad. Uh, the seamers I just wanted to touch upon also, because we have Bumrah obviously was going to be the primary bowler. We also have Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, and I think yeah, his selection is justified as well. Do you think Shami was a good selection, or they could have selected someone else? Maybe not sure of Natarajan's fitness, but yeah, maybe Shardul Thakur or even Siraj for that matter. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I think Shami. If you look at a large space, a large sample space over a large number of years, Shami has proven himself more to be a better test bowler than a white ball bowler, because he seems to have all the classical, attributes of a test match fast bowler. A good simple run up, simple gather, very good wrist position, very good seam position, etc. Um, in the last couple of years, though, in the IPL, he has shown that he can have an element of T20 skill as well with his Yorker. So he's got some good Yorkers. He's got ability to keep the batsman quiet at the depth of the innings. But I still think that as overall, as from a skill level point of view, the number of skills that you need in a T20 bowler, I think Shami doesn't have all of those. And I would have actually picked Deepak Chahar ahead of him as well.
Yeah,
So, so I would have chosen Deepak Chahar ahead of Akshar Patel. And then if Akshar Patel was in the squad, or if say you need Akshar Patel, then I would have still selected Deepak Chahar ahead of Mohammad Shami.
yeah,
Because I think Shami is more of a test bowler. You mentioned Siraj as well. I would say the same thing about Siraj. He's more of a test match bowler. Um, and in T20, you need some versatile bowlers. You need guys who can bowl a slower ball. You need guys who can bowl a Yorker. You need guys who have the slower ball bouncer and these kind of deliveries. I think Shami doesn't have those. I think Siraj doesn't have those. But I think Deepak Chahar does. So I think Shami is also a bit lucky, I would say, to get into this squad. But then again, I don't see him in the starting 11 either, unless there's an injury to Bumrah or Bhuvaneshwar.
yeah. That's the thing, right? The thing is, the pace bowling is a bit light, and it's also people who wouldn't be first choice. So that's a slight concern for me. Uh, we are going to play most of our games in Dubai. I think in the initial in the group stages at least. So I think that helps because of that pitch traditionally. If correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that suits spinners more. So it all of them do, but yeah, it will be maybe that's been taken into consideration as well while selecting the squad.
Yes, probably.
Yeah,
Probably. I mean that basically is why we got five spinners in the
yeah,
squad. So even if we have multiple injuries to the spinners, there's already always somebody as backup.
yeah. So do you want to would obviously there won't be an ideal playing 11. It's going to be changed according to every match. But what's your initial take on the first 11 that you would play?
Okay, so that's a good one. Um, let me tell you what my first 11 would be. So Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul are the openers for me. Um, I would have Virat Kohli at three, Surya Kumar at four, Rishabh Pant at five, Hardik Pandya six, Ravindra Jadeja seven, Bhuvneshwar Kumar eight. Um, who am I forgetting? Bhuvneshwar Kumar eight, Jasprit Bumrah nine, and then of course he could be even at 10. But Jasprit Bumrah nine. Um, I'm looking for spinners. Rahul Chahar 10, Varun Chakravarti 11.
Yeah,
So this
that's
would
it.
be my ideal 11. Um, I think the good thing about this 11 is the number of bowling options that I would have. So Hardik and Jadeja batting at 6 and 7. So that's two all rounders and then four bowlers. So that's six bowling options, of which three are spinners and three fast bowlers or three seam bowlers. So for me, this would be the most balanced and ideal 11. And I think there is enough power. So for the end overs at number 6 and 7, you've got Rishabh Pant, Hardik, and Ravindra Jadeja for to add those valuable end over runs. By going for the slug. At the top, Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, Virat Kohli. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
strong top three, right? And then you've got Surya Kumar Yadav with his skills of rotating the strike, etc., and finding the odd boundary at four. Um, I think for the bowlers, it's fine. Jasprit Bumrah and Bhuvneshwar Kumar have to be in the team. I
Yeah.
think they have proven over the years that they are our best T20 bowlers. Bhuvneshwar Kumar, okay, maybe not of late because of injury, but over a large sample space, he's been a very good T20 bowler. Rahul Chahar, he's the only leg spinner in the side. I think he's got to play. Uh, and then, of course, I like the element of mystery that Varun Chakravarti brings. I think in a T20 game, in T20 in general, you need some bowler like that who's difficult to set up. The batsmen find it difficult to set up against these mystery spinners. So I think it's important to have him in the team as well.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with a Varun selected. But do you think so? You see, you are going for Rohit and Rahul to open. So I know Kohli has opened for RCB and he tried to open for India in the past. So no Kohli to open.
No, I don't see the added value of Kohli opening because if Kohli opens, you play KL Rahul in the middle order at number four. But I
Yeah,
don't see the value as such in that. I think KL is a good opener. He's a better opener than middle order batsman in T20 cricket. I'm not talking about ODI cricket, but T20 cricket.
yeah,
Of course, the important thing here is that KL Rahul cannot play the anchor role in this team. So that is for Rohit Sharma to do as the opener. KL Rahul needs to be the version of KL Rahul that comes out and smashes a 15, 20 balls. That is the
yeah,
KL Rahul that I want to see opening the innings and not the one that plays for Kings 11 Punjab.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah, so that's an important point. Though.
But yeah, because there was some talk I read and I saw some videos also that they were saying that Rahul might even be dropped and have Kohli open and have Ishan Kishan at four. But yeah, I don't see that. I mean, let's not get carried away. He's a good reserve to have, but we got to start with Rahul.
Yeah, you got to start with Rahul. I mean, the guy has proven over the last 10 years since his debut, and surprising, it's been 10 years since he debuted in Australia in 2011, that he is an all format player. Or was it 14?
I think it was 14, but
Okay,
still, that's a lot of years.
so it's still 7 years, still quite a lot
Yeah,
of years. Yeah. Yeah, it was 14. Yeah, my bad, not 11. I think he's proven in those 7 years that he is an all format player. I mean, he's got the skill, he's got the ability, to be an all format player. So it's time that he's given the opportunity to shine. Of course, again, I'll repeat it again. If he plays in this 11, though, he cannot be the KL Rahul that plays for Kings 11 Punjab and lays the anchor and bats through. We've got Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli to do that. I think this KL Rahul that plays for India as an opener needs to be the dasher.
yeah, agreed. Our group we have, I think I'm just looking at our group. It's quite sorry. We have it's a very Asian dominated group. So we do have we're starting off with versus Pakistan. Of course, it has to be the clash for the eyeballs and the money. And then we play New Zealand, who we have a terrible record against in ICC tournaments. And then it gets a bit easy. I think Afghanistan, we don't know if Afghanistan are even going to play, but as of now they are. Then we end with two qualifiers. I think the group seems pretty simple for us. We just need to beat one of Pakistan and Afghanistan, which we really should do. Even if we lose against New Zealand, I don't know. There are only two teams which will qualify out of six, but we should still be okay.
Yeah, I think it should be okay. So, I mean, really, Pakistan, we should be able to beat Pakistan. Okay,
Yeah,
we are a better team than them. We should be able to beat Pakistan, and we should also be able to beat Afghanistan. New Zealand is the one that is tough historically has been. I think, and what's the format like? I think it's the top two teams that go through, right?
two out of six. Yeah,
So I think given that we'll have a runner up from Group A and the winner of Group B, I think when I'm looking through Group B, I think Bangladesh should win that group.
yeah,
Bangladesh will win Group B, and I think the runner up of Group A will be Ireland. So we should be able to beat Ireland. Bangladesh could be slightly tricky in those
Yeah,
conditions, but again, we should beat them, I think. So I think India should go through, should qualify through that group along with either New Zealand or or Pakistan. Now
I
that's
was
a tough
starting
one.
off with two tricky matches against Pakistan and New Zealand. It's, in a way, it's good to get those tough matches out of the way. But
Yeah,
Pakistan is not, but you can't underestimate them also.
yeah.
Uh,
No, it's
so,
the thing. It's the format, really. I
yeah,
mean, we know that Test cricket is a longer format, so the best team will always win the match. But in T20, because the format is so short, the best team necessarily doesn't end up winning the match. So that is why it is tricky. That is why we always say with a level of, uh, you know, uh, with a level of trepidation that India should win, but
yeah,
it's not necessarily that they will win. It's because of the format. So yeah, like you said, the first two matches are probably the toughest for us in the group. But I think again, I think India should be able to win the match against Pakistan. New Zealand will be a tougher game.
yeah. We'll wait and see. There's still over a month to go, and we will do a much more detailed preview of this once we have a better idea of the squads, and we'll do a proper World T20 preview. But I think that's it for this episode. It's a shorter one. Sorry.
Are you sure? Are you sure that's it? There's one other big
Oh,
elephant in the room. It is MS Dhoni.
oh, yes, of course. I'm so sorry to all our. I jumped the gun there for sure. So yeah, you wanted MS Dhoni announced as mentor of the squad. So what is mentor,
Yeah. What is
and
the role? Yeah.
how does that overlap with Ravi Shastri's role? And is this even because Ravi Shastri is scheduled to step down after the World Cup? So is this going to be like a transition, and Dhoni might mentor the team for the next little while?
That is the only logical reason that I can think of. I guess they don't have an idea of who's the next coach going to be as yet. So I think until that happens, Dhoni is probably going to be the mentor for that transition. This is just me guessing. This is my
Yeah,
speculation. Also, the other thing is that Dhoni is a good T20 cricket. I mean, his best, his tactical acumen was probably at its best in T20 cricket. And I think both the ICC, sorry, I think the BCCI and the Indian team in general realize that they need to win an ICC tournament now. Right? It's important that they win
yeah,
something because they've been coming close and not gotten over the line. So I think this is the BCCI's idea of trying whatever they have to try. So if it means having Dhoni mentor the side through the tough semis and the finals and all of that, then go for it. Nothing to lose. Have Dhoni in there as mentor, because I think everybody acknowledges that this Indian team needs to win an ICC trophy simply because it's a super strong team and they cannot be, failing in the semi-finals and the finals for too long now.
yeah. It's yeah. Maybe he's just there to bring that. It is also, of course, the mental side as well. So yeah, possibly that's one of the reasons why Dhoni is. But even though that said, Dhoni has won a lot, but he also he lost the 2014 T20 World Cup, 2015 ODI, 2016 T20. So he's had his share of wins and losses. But yeah, as opposed to Kohli, who's won pretty much nothing, I think there's some experience in the dressing room, and who knows if someone gets injured, maybe he'll be drafted into play as well. But that's that's for another day. I don't think that will happen. That would be quite something to watch, right?
Yeah, it would be quite something to watch. I don't think I'd want to watch it though.
That's true.
Because Dhoni as the batsman pretty much deteriorated quite a bit in the last few years. Who knows? He'll have a brilliant IPL now. I don't know.
Yeah, now
But
that you said it, he's gonna.
but we'll see. I just hope the whatever the discussions are, I really hope at least the role is clear in relation to Ravi Shastri's role.
Yeah,
I hope all the main decision makers in the BCCI and the Indian team management are on board with this decision, and each of them understands the role that Dhoni and Ravi Shastri will play. because with Dhoni in there now, there are quite a few, uh, brain centers, if you may call it, in the Indian team. There's obviously Ravi Shastri, Virat Kohli. Now there's Dhoni. There's also Rohit Sharma. Don't
Yeah,
forget, he's actually the most successful IPL captain. He's shown many a times that he's probably tactically the best person India has to lead the team. So there are a lot of brain centers. I just hope everybody is aligned with that decision and everybody knows what their role is.
yeah. We'll see. We'll wait and watch. I think now we're done. Or
Now I
was
think
there
we've
anything?
addressed all the elephants in the room.
Yeah. Sorry, I missed the big thing. I don't know how I was planning to bring it up, and then it just slipped my mind. But it's good we covered that.
Yeah.
So, uh, we've been doing three episodes in a row every day, which we haven't really done forever. So it's been quite a transition from Test cricket to now looking at the T20. We'll be back next week where I think it'll be the eve of the IPL resumption. So we'll definitely look forward to that as well. But for now, I think that's all. So thank you for watching, and we will see you soon.
Yeah. See you soon and see you for the IPL actually.